Welcome back everyone, this is my Spider-Man No Way Home video for the Miles Morales scene. We'll explain what's going on with his character in the MCU, what their plans are, what they've said about him, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Quick shout out to my friends at NordVPN who asked to sponsor this video. Normally on my Marvel episode videos I do giveaways for Disney Plus memberships, but some of you might live in countries where Disney Plus isn't available yet and you have to wait forever to get new Marvel Phase 4 movies on streaming. But with a VPN you can actually change the location you access content online from. Even if you live outside the United States, you can use a service like NordVPN to sign up for the US or the UK version of Disney Plus. They even gave it a huge shout out during Spider-Man Far From Home, so don't take my word for it.
You should probably download a VPN on your phone just so that the government can't track you while we're abroad.
Smart.
She's not wrong, you can also use a VPN to stop anyone from snooping on your browsing history. And NordVPN is currently running a holiday discount deal for their service. I'll add a link in the description below, or you can go directly to nordvpn.com/emergencyawesome, so be sure to check it out. They have a 30-day refund policy just in case you decide that it's not for you. Real quick reminder about spoilers from Spider-Man No Way Home if you have not seen the movie yet, because we'll be talking about a lot of stuff that happens at the end of the movie and the way they tease Miles Morales' character in the MCU, like live-action Miles Morales. But after the final battle at the Statue of Liberty with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the Sinister Six villains, each of the separate versions of Spider-Man sort of get a reunion scene with their original villains. So like Tobey Maguire has a scene with Dr. Octopus where they reference their history in Spider-Man 2. The Miles Morales scene happens when Andrew Garfield is helping Electro after he's been depowered. He's giving him a bit of a pep talk because Electro thinks he's a total douche now without his powers, and Andrew Garfield's trying to remind him that, hey, you were a genius scientist at Oscorp before you got powers, like you had some stuff going for you. And Jamie Foxx's Electro gets real with him, saying that back during the events of Amazing Spider-Man 2, before he got his powers, when he was this hardcore Spider-Man stand for Andrew's version, like he loved Spider-Man, and that's why he wanted to meet him so badly. He thought that because he was from Queens and he spent so much time trying to help poor people, he just thought that he was going to be a black dude underneath the mask. And Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is like, oh, I'm sorry, Max. And Electro's like, don't worry about it, there's gotta be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere, talking about the multiverse, the Spider-Verse, the MCU. Just in general, somewhere out there. And that's Marvel and Sony teasing live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man in future movies. Like, they'll get to him eventually, but everyone's been asking where he's going to show up and how they'll handle his origin story in the MCU, and what are the larger plans for introducing his character. If you remember, way back in Spider-Man Homecoming, Donald Glover played Aaron Davis, the Prowler, Miles Morales' uncle, and during that movie, he said that he wanted to help Spider-Man get rid of all the alien weapons that Vulture was dealing because his nephew lived nearby.
I don't want those weapons in this neighborhood. I got a nephew who live here.
That was him referencing Miles Morales in the MCU, but at the time, like when this scene was taking place in the timeline, he was a really little kid and a long way from getting the spider bite. There was also a deleted scene from that movie as part of this whole thing with Donald Glover's character where he actually says the name Miles Morales, and it's the only time Miles' name has ever been said out loud in the MCU, the most direct reference to his character.
A human being needs help. I hate this dude, man. Yeah, sorry, Miles. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, I'm just stuck.
So in the MCU, we have all these mentions, name drop scenes featuring his character. Before Spider-Man No Way Home came out in theaters just a little while ago, Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal answered some questions about him. They were asked what had happened to this version of Miles from back in Spider-Man Homecoming. Did he get snapped during Avengers Infinity War? Did he not get snapped? And did they age him up 5 years closer to MCU Peter Parker's age? Because that was everyone's big theory. They just aged him up during that 5-year time jump so that they could introduce him sooner and he'd be closer in age to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like Miles would be going to high school by the time that Peter Parker's Spider-Man was in college, which he's doing at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. That's what the GED course book is for at the end of the film, so that he can get into college just like MJ and Ned Leeds. And we'll see that happening during Spider-Man 4 when the events of that movie pick up. But the funny thing that Kevin Feige did is that when he was directly asked about this version of Miles Morales, he said, you know what, we've got this great Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse animated movie with Miles coming out next year. And so he just started hyping up the animated Spider-Verse movies. We just got a trailer for that a couple weeks ago. I've already done a couple Easter egg videos and breakdowns for it because there's a whole bunch of other versions of Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse they're introducing in. So I'll post links for those in the description below so you can rewatch those. It's going to be awesome. Spider-Man 2099 is putting together another team. It's going to be crazy. But I think the main reason Kevin Feige did that, just deflected immediately to Spider-Verse 2, is because he didn't want to steal any thunder away from the animated movies. Tom Holland has said that he's excited for them to introduce live-action Miles Morales in the MCU, and he wants his Peter Parker Spider-Man to become a mentor to him eventually. Kevin Feige, the Sony people, also just recently confirmed that they're working on the next Spider-Man movie now, Spider-Man 4, and the story of what will happen to Tom Holland's Spider-Man next after this movie. But then Tom Holland comes out and says, you know what, it's not a total done deal yet, like we're still figuring that out. Because he wants to get paid like Robert Downey Jr. got paid. Like they'll probably make him a producer on those new Spider-Man films, and that's how he earns his $50 million per movie. But yes, if you were wondering, Tom Holland is coming back. It's just that the ink is not totally dry on his new contract yet. Like they're still haggling over money right now. But the Spider-Man No Way Home ending basically acts as a teaser for Spider-Man 4. It kind of tells you what's going to be happening during the events of that movie when it picks up. He's got himself a very Tobey Maguire looking dumpy apartment. Mr. Dickovich says he still needs that rent.
Give me rent. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
He's taken his integrated suit that he had during the final battle, the combination of the Iron Spider suit and the advanced suit, and used scraps from it along with new regular cloth material to make himself the most comic book accurate suit that he's ever worn in the MCU. This is a really good high-res picture of what it actually looks like. Notice how the Spider-Man symbol has changed, and it's also way more comic book accurate. I'm waiting just a little bit longer to do more spoilery videos about what's going on with the suit, what's going on with Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire in the future movies, because they will come back for more stuff eventually. But I think the idea with this new comic book accurate cloth, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man low-tech suit is that when he was with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the movie working with them, he was inspired by their versions of the suits and saw that they had made their own. They were cloth, they didn't have any special AI or anything like that. So this suit is inspired by their suits, and when Spider-Man 4 picks up, they'll all be in college, and if he doesn't get into MIT, and he goes to college inside the New York City area like to Columbia or Empire State like the comics, they'll just find an excuse for Ned Leeds and MJ to come back and visit New York City during the plot of Spider-Man 4 so they can be in the movie too. Because yes, I do think that Zendaya will come back for Spider-Man 4, and Ned Leeds will probably come back too. But the idea is that in that new Spider-Man trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, that's when they'll introduce live-action Miles Morales in some way. And what'll probably wind up happening, just early prediction, is that they'll wait till like the end of Spider-Man 4 and it'll be like a post-credit scene. Because we had that Venom post-credit scene with the symbiote, so clearly they want to do some version of a symbiote saga with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And it just feels like trying to do Symbiote Saga and Miles Morales all in the same movie, all at the same time, do all those different origin stories, is just way too much story for one movie. So that's why they'll probably start with the Symbiote Saga stuff and then slowly roll in live-action Miles Morales. The report right now, though, is that Sony wants to do spin-off solo movies with live-action Miles Morales, so he wouldn't take over the main Spider-Man movies. That would still mostly be Tom Holland's Spider-Man with some Miles Morales crossing over in them. And when they do Miles Morales' first live-action solo movie, they'll probably just call it Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or some iteration of a Spider-Verse title and do a legit version of the franchise in live-action. Even though Spider-Man No Way Home is already kind of a live-action Spider-Verse movie. Tom Holland said that he had to delete a scene during the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. He was supposed to have a really quick cameo scene that's featured during some of the trailers where Miles is in the subway saying, wait a minute, how many other versions of Spider-Man are out there?
At one point, I was supposed to be in it. Yeah, there was going to be another Peter Parker. Really? Like there was like a scene in a train station or something, and like it was going to be like an Easter egg. I was going to walk through the background and say like, "Hey kid" or something, and never happened. I'm heartbroken. But I'm just excited for us to introduce Miles into our own universe one day. I think that's going to be really cool.
Should be wild.
Yeah,
Should be a wild time.
Tom, can you tell us about the Spider-Verse?
Honestly, mate, I'm sick of this Spider-Verse stuff, right? I'm the only Spider-Man. It's me. Only one. There ever is and ever will. Greg!
Sorry.
They were also going to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man for the animated Spider-Verse movies, but at the time, back in 2018, Sony said that it was too soon. Clearly, it is no longer too soon. Clearly, it is the right time, because they totally brought them back for this movie. But like I said, I'll do a separate video later this week for Tobey and Andrew and what the plans are for the future of those characters inside the larger MCU and Sony movies. And the other funny thing that just happened is that Tom Holland was saying how he wanted to be in the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse sequel movie. Lord and Miller, the producers of the movie, said, please call us. So it sounds like Tom Holland will actually get a cameo scene during Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But if you have any other big questions about live-action MCU Miles Morales or what's going on with the character or Spider-Verse questions, just write them in the comments below. My full Hawkeye Episode 6 finale video will post next. Remember, Kingpin is back. Yelena Belova is still a huge deal, so it is going to be awesome. My video should be up pretty early in the morning on Wednesday. Everyone click here for my full Doctor Strange 2 trailer breakdown and Easter eggs, and click here for my full Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene with Venom. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.